Yo, what's good, YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoop, back with the UBC. We have Season 8, week number 1, the premiere of Season 8 here. We've had our draft analysis go up last Thursday. Today is Thursday, so happy Thursday, guys. Tomorrow's Friday. Looking forward to that. And yeah, so we've got our week 1 match. We're facing off against the Memphis Guzzlords, coached by Nader or Nada Please. We played them way back in UBC season 5 or 6 or something like that. We took some time off from the UBC, focused on some other leagues, and they didn't make much progress. They only had one season, and I don't remember who won the season. It doesn't really matter, but they've only had one season since, so it's not like I've been gone for multiple seasons. Just took a season layoff, and here we are back with the UBC. So we've got our week 1 prep here. As you can see on screen, my opponent's rocking the Mew, Garchomp, Greninja, Skarmory, Darmanitan, Amoonguss, Heliolisk, Mega Medicham, Diancie, Quagsire, and the Bronzor, where his Z-move users are the Garchomp and the Diancie. Garchomp being one of the best Z-move users in the game, supported really well by Greninja, Darmanitan, and as a defensive core, Mew, Skarmory, and Amoonguss. This team's awesome. One of the best teams in the draft, in my opinion, and we get to face off against it versus week 1. But worry not. We have come prepared as well. With our squad, we've got Mega Lopunny, Clefable, Necrozma, Superior, Alola Muck, Salamence, Milotic, Licky, Fortress, Oricorio, Rhydon, and our Z-move users being the Salamence, Oricorio, and the Rhydon. So for this particular matchup, we're bringing Mega Lopunny, Necrozma, Milotic, Superior, Alola Muck, and Oricorio Pom-Pom. As you can see at the top of the screen there, UBC Season 8 Week 1 squad. And our Mega Lopunny, thanks to our fantastic speed tier, we're able to speed creep Greninja. At least where we think Greninja will be speed creep. We think it will be outpacing Superior. So we've got an adamant Mega Lopunny that outpaces, Greninja outpacing a Superior. I think that's the only thing that we needed to outpace in terms of Mega Lopunny. Allows us to outpace everything else, minus Choice Scarf users. So we've got Fake Out, Return, and Drain Punch, pretty much standard coverage, and we've packing the Ice Punch there so that we can easily revenge kill Garchomp, and we don't ever have to risk like Return not knocking out or something like that. So we can always revenge kill that bad boy. If it's like a Choice Scarf variant, it's a little bit different, but it's not as necessary to immediately revenge it. It's easier to check defensively if it's Scarf and things like that. But I don't expect it to be Scarf. Z-move if anything. Next up we've got Necrozma, rocking a little bit of a mixed defense here. Mostly defensive though to take on the Mega Medicham. We've got Stealth Rock, Photon Geyser, Signal Beam, which is there for the Mew, and opted to bypass on any kind of coverage for Skarmory. It's just too problematic for Necrozma to deal with anyway, even with like Heat Wave, and our last move being the Moonlight. So we have enough HP and defense investment to take high jump kicks or Zen Headbutts or even Mega Kicks from Mega Medicham. And we have enough special defense investment to take hits from Mew. We can avoid a 2-hit KO from Dark Pulse Greninja unless it's a boosted item, an item boosting item, or an attack boosting item, excuse me. And this thing can't necessarily check things like Garchomp and Darmanitan, but if they're unboosted, it can at least take a hit and fire back some nice chip damage. Put it in range of Mega Lopunny or something like that. Next up, we've got Milotic with the Flame Orb and the Marvel Scale. Fantastic defensive Pokemon here. Like I said, as a defensive Pokemon, rocking, in my opinion, my best way to counter a Garchomp, as with Z-move or just being Life Orb, it's going to blow through defensive Clefable, but defensive Milotic with the Burn and the Marvel Scale, it's just on a different level in terms of defense. We can take +2 Earthquakes, and we can avoid being knocked out by like a Z-move at neutral. and packing the Ice Beam to obviously outcode the Garchomp. We've got Recover and Toxic as our last two moves. If we can Toxic things like Quagsire or Heliolisk, which is a potential switch in, it would be really nice. So next up we've got Superior, a really nice speed tier here, outpacing everything outside of the Greninja. It's really fantastic for me. Rocking Leaf Storm and Hidden Power Fire hits pretty much his entire squad. Outside of Darmanitan, which isn't bulky enough to take multiple Leaf Storms anyway, and is chipped significantly by Stealth Rocks. We're rocking the Glare to catch like a Moongus Skarmory upon switch in, and Synthesis for longevity, of course. Rocking the Kibia Berry to take a Sludge Bomb, so we can we don't always have to switch versus a Moongus. This isn't to beat a Moongus 1v1, but if we were to get to +2, potentially +3, thanks to being able to stay in versus a Moongus and then drop it with the Hidden Power Fire, and then he has to rely on like Scarf Darmanitan or Greninja to revenge kill, assuming he brings the both of them, which is fantastic for me. This thing outpaces things like Mew and Mega Medicham, gets huge damage off, easy switch into things like Quagsire and Bronzor as well, and Heliolisk even. So next up we've got a Figgy Berry, a Alolan Muck with Curse and Recycle. Once Skarmory is gone, it can actually put in a whole lot of work. Preferably like to get Garchomp gone as well, or be in a position to curse up and be out of range of Earthquake or Tectonic Rage. So we're rocking the knockoff and the Brick Break. Brick Break is there to hit the Skarmory a little bit harder, and then knockoff pretty much is mandatory for everything else. With Curse, we can curse up, attack, defensive boost, you guys know what that does, and Recycle, of course, with the Gluttony ability, allows us to have pretty much reliable recovery and really nice setup potential. So next up we've got Curbs, or Oricorio Pom Pom this week with the Flyinium Z. We're rocking a max HP, max special attack, modest offensive Oricorio that needed absolutely no speed investment because I can't outpace the things that are fast, and for the things that are slow, they're so slow that I need absolutely zero speed investment. So we're rocking Revelation Dance, Hurricane, Roost, and Defog. Revelation Dance and Hurricane. This mon is my best mon to break through his defensive core in Skarmory and Amoonguss. And then we've got Roost for longevity, and of course Defog because my opponent has the option to Hazard Stay. And what I can do with Oricorio is use it like a Zapdos in this match versus the Skarmory. Every time Skarmory comes in, I can just go hard into my Oricorio. If he sets up hazards, I can Defog. If he doesn't set up hazards, he has to fear me being taunt. Am I going to taunt him? Am I going to fire off the Revelation Dance? Can he go into a Moongus or Garchomp expecting my Revelation Dance and potentially get bopped by a Hurricane or a Supersonic Sky Strike? You never know. But yeah, it's going to be the prep, so let's go ahead and hop into the battle now and see what actually happens in this week 1 premiere. Alright, so here we're at the replay, and my opponent has brought his Skarmory, Garchomp, Mew, Mega Medicham, Amoonguss, and Darmanitan. No Heliolisk, no Diancie, no Quagsire, and it's really nice. But a very threatening squad nonetheless. So, I see he did not bring solid responses to Oricorio. So Oricorio is looking awesome in this match. I can break his Skarmory and Amoonguss, can switch in on them pretty comfortably. Depending on the Mew set, I may be able to beat it 1v1 as well. And I've got the Supersonic Sky Strike that can blow something back. Also, if Mega Medicham is adamant, well, actually no, I'm not fast. I have no speed investment on my Oricorio. So, never mind on that. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he leads with here. And he just decides to lead with his Darmanitan here. And I know it's very likely that this thing is Choice Scarf, and he's just going to go for a U-turn, expecting my Milotic to come in. But Oricorio is so good in this match that I can't risk him going for the Flare Blitz and getting the roll. Yes, it's a roll to knock out my Oricorio with just max HP investment. Just speaks volumes on Oricorio's capabilities. Anyways, my opponent does U-turn out, so I could have stayed in there. However, my Flame Orb is going to activate, and now Mega Medicham cannot knock me out. However, my my opponent doubles. Really unfortunate double for him as he goes into his Amoonguss, as my answer to his Mega Medicham was the Necrozma. So I'm not sure if he baited in my Necrozma to get his Amoonguss in. It makes no sense to me, so I'm assuming he's going to switch out here, and I can just get my Stealth Rocks up. And I am going to go for my Rocks here as my opponent stays in and goes for the Sludge Bomb. So that's a very, very foolish move there, as Amoonguss, had I been offensive and I clicked Photon Geyser, I could have potentially knocked him out. So yeah, definitely disagree with that. And I get his, force him out here, and I'm able to curse up with my Muck as he goes into his Skarmory here, and he's going to be able to Roost, unfortunately for me, as I go for a Brick Break once again. And now I know he's going to Roost again. I'm going to Curse once more to force him to Whirlwind. Excuse me, I knock off first, but now I'm going to Curse again to force him to Whirlwind. And he does just that on the perfect turn. So really nice for him. And he's going to bring in his Amoonguss hard on my Mega Lopunny as I go for the Drain Punch. And I'm going to hard switch out into my Serpon this turn, expecting a Sleep Powder, a Spore. But my opponent goes for the Sludge Bomb, which, again, Necrozma and Alola Muck are my obvious switch-ins. So I'm not sure why he's just spamming Sludge Bomb. But he does pop my Cubia Bear here, but thanks to the berry, I am able to eat that up pretty comfortably. And now I know he's not going to click Spore. I can go into my Alola Muck here, and I know he's not going to click Spore again, because I could potentially taunt him. So I double into my Oricorio, and I go for the Supersonic Sky Strike as my opponent switches into the Mew, and I get huge damage off versus that. And here, my opponent goes into Amoonguss again, not realizing the value of his Amoonguss versus my squad. One of his only ways to respond to not only my Serp, but my Milotic as well. So definitely not understanding why he's risking this thing. Had I went for Hurricane there, it would have knocked him, or if it didn't knock him out, it would have put him in range of the following Hurricane had I not missed. But I did miss, very unfortunate for me. And I'm going to Roost up here though. And my opponent goes hard into his Garchomp, so I'm just going to go into my Milotic this time, and I should be able to recover up. But I'm actually going to make a double, predicting his Amoonguss to come out. I'm going to double out into my Necrozma, and now I'm going to go for the Photon Geyser. Now, I thought really hard about this play. Check out the damage it does there. 18%. He survives on 3. I almost clicked Signal Beam, but ultimately decided it wasn't worth it. And here my opponent's going to actually reveal Taunt, expecting me to taunt him or Toxic him or something like that. I'm not sure. He was predicting me to do something there that wasn't attack again, because he was just spamming Roost, but he hadn't conditioned me enough to do that just yet. So I wasn't in that position that I had to do that just yet. So anyways, my Necrozma's pretty much at full here as he U-turns into his Mega Medicham. I can just go into my Necrozma. It does not 2-hit KO from that range, as you can see. And I'm going to be able to Moonlight up, get back to full, as he does poison me. So that puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage versus things like Skarmory and even his Amoonguss now. But he does bring a Skarmory in, so I'm going to go hard into my Oricorio as my opponent goes straight for the Whirlwind. So that's really unfortunate for me. But thankfully, he goes, it drags me into my Milotic, so I'm able to recover up here and get back to a reasonable amount of HP. And I'm going to click Recover again here, expecting a Sludge Bomb. He can't poison me, so that's fine as well. And now expecting something like Giga Drain, I'm going to go out into my Muck, as my opponent does go for the Giga Drain, and I'm going to be able to click Recycle or what was my other move? Curse. But yeah, I just clicked Knockoff since he still has Skarmory there. It potentially got some chip off on the Garchomp as well, and would have gave me some information about his EV spread, which would have been nice. But yeah, able to bring in my Oricorio once again, expecting him to go for anything not called Earthquake. He could have potentially went for Earthquake, I suppose, predicting my switch out into my Milotic, but Dragon Claw was his best play. And now expecting him to potentially be Choice Scarf, I'm going to go into my Superior, or my Milotic here. But he does switch out here, so I'm not sure yet. Just scouting there. Didn't want to lose Superior for no reason. And I can take a Giga Drain from this thing. Check that out. Milotic proving its worth here. Proving it was worthy of a top 6 pick. I believe I picked it in the top 6. Actually, I think I picked it 7th round. Anyways, switching to my muck here, and it actually activates my berry because he did get stealth rocks up. And now I'm able to recycle my berry up pretty much without losing too much on the turn. And I'm going to go into my melodic here expecting to eat this earthquake just a little bit better than I did. But unfortunately, with that and the burn damage, he's easily going to be able to knock me out. So I do switch out to my Raikougars here, wanting to get some chip damage off on this thing. And I miss my Hurricane. Oh my goodness. So Raikougars, right here, I wanted some valuable damage on the Garchomp, and I risk my Raikougars to get it. You know, a Mon that actually beats Skarmory and Amoonguss. So you know how important that Hurricane miss right there was. Modest max special attack, Hurricane miss. Oh man. So he knocks me out with the Dragon Claw, and Garchomp is at 88% instead of at whatever it would have been. It would have been below half. That's for sure. So I'm going to glare him here. If he was Scarf, you know, he would have been able to knock me out. But he revealed that he wasn't Scarf. So I was able to just go in there and glare him. Just wanted to make sure that he was slower than some of my other mons. And now he gets the poison as well. And of course, Serp couldn't 1v1 Amoonguss. But I could get some valuable chip damage off. I could potentially avoid being poisoned and play around with my you know, switching into my muck, keeping Serp for sleep fodder if he had it. But yeah, that's just not the case. So I'm going to go out into my Mega Lopunny here, and I know Ice Punch will 2-hit KO from this range, and predicting his Skarmory to come in, I'm actually going to click Drain Punch. And I get that right, thankfully. So I'm going to be able to 2-hit KO him from this range, and now he has no return switching. So Mega Lopunny looking like a huge threat. I still have Necrozma at a reasonable amount of HP, so letting it take this Flare Blitz will eventually put it in range of the following Fake Out. So I get this Fake Out damage off. Now I can sack off Necrozma, as it will get the most damage off. I could have perhaps sacked Muck on this turn, but Mega Lopunny should clean the game now. Should clean the game. There's no reason that Mega Lopunny shouldn't clean the game. Darmanitan drops here. Amoonguss is going to come in. This thing's 2-hit KO'd. Ice Punch. So he goes for the Sludge Bomb. And he gets the poison again. Are you kidding me? So I would have been at, what, 36% or so? No, did it do 12%? I would have been at 41%. And Amoonguss would have been gone. I would have been at 41%. Keep that in mind right here. So I could switch out, which I would have to do. And he doesn't reveal Fake Out. So this is fantastic for me. He could knock me out with High Jump Kick, which is fine. I'm just going to go for the knockoff here, get a little bit of chip damage off on it. Guarantee it's in range of return. But since he switched out, now Garchomp is in range of Ice Punch. I go for Ice Punch here because I know I can't like Drain Punch. I'm not going to recover enough health. I'm going to die to Rough Skin Recoil plus poison damage. So there's no sense in clicking Drain Punch, and it might not have knocked out there as well. And I wanted to guarantee the knockout so that the differential would be as low as possible. But as you can see here, if I was not poisoned, Mega Lopunny still won. After all that garbage, Mega Lopunny was still going to pull through, had Amoonguss not got that poison at the end. So that's really unfortunate, but Pokemon is sometimes. But yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you guys thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.